So Borderlands 4 seems to be approaching the end of its planned DLC season. We're getting our second Vault Hunter in the form of Loveless the Hacker later in September. We're getting our last story pack and our last bounty pack. As far as the roadmap goes, they haven't announced anything after that. Now, of course, they could surprise us and we could make Borderlands history and have a third or even fourth DLC Vault Hunter. I truthfully don't know. But here's what I do know. Borderlands 5 is definitely on their radar. Besides the Platinum Trophy for Borderlands 4 outright referencing it, and of course the ending of the campaign setting it up, Randy Pitchford decided to quote tweet at a tweet talking about an 11-year-old joke about punchlines and not forgetting, with 3 words that will send any pre-sequel fan into an absolute frenzy: war is coming. This is a line uttered by the Watcher at the end of the Borderlands pre-sequel story, preventing Lilith from executing Athena and telling her she'll need all the Vault Hunters we can get. Now, of course, Borderlands 3's story was thought to be that war that was coming, and of course now we know that's not the direction they went, and not even with Borderlands 4. However, it seems that we're ramping back up to that, but there's another spanner in the ray here, where Randy Pitchford talks about an MMO. He's been actually pretty vocal on Twitter, and not a lot of people are very big fans of him, but I give him credit. The guy is vocal, and he has been asking not just about Borderlands 5, but about a Borderlands MMO. What I think he sees is the death of Destiny 2 as an opportunity. Obviously, Destiny's loot system was inspired by Borderlands. It set the foundation for looter shooters as a genre, and obviously it paid respect to it with weapons like Rest for the Wicked being in the game as a direct reference to Borderlands for that foundation. Of course, Borderlands didn't create the colored tier loot system that was inspired by Diablo, but in terms of a first-person shooter, Borderlands is the one that started it all. So it would only be fitting for them to try to fill in the shoes of Bungie's dead franchise by turning Borderlands 5 into literally the Destiny 3 we'd never get. And I can see where they're coming from. It makes some sense. The Borderlands universe is already set up for this. Besides the attempt at an MMO back in 2010, they already have enough planets, characters, vendors, personality, guns, loot, and customization as the foundation for a pretty good MMO light, just like with Destiny 2. The question is, how far would Gearbox go with monetization? That's what scares me, because that's what happened with Destiny. It had humble beginnings, it started with promise, an interesting universe, and then corporate crunch, greed, and other things got in the way. That's what would concern me, especially with Randy involved, and how Borderlands 4 has already become the most expensive game in the entire franchise to purchase DLC, when back in the day we got a Headhunter pack for $2.99, and nowadays a little longer than the length of a Headhunter pack is $25, which is wild to me. But that's just kind of the trend of the industry, is to squeeze every dime out of Mr. and Mrs. Average Knucklehead as possible. So, the question is, how will Gearbox handle an MMO, and is that going to be a good thing for the Borderlands franchise? I don't think they should call it Borderlands 5 if they do come out with it. I think it should be a separate spin-off game, like Wonderlands or Tales from the Borderlands. It shouldn't be a main numbered entry. That would be kind of dishonest to completely pull the rug from folks who like solo gameplay or smaller co-op settings with a limit of 4 players. But if they do a Borderlands Online like they were trying back in 2010, I think they have a decent chance of filling in the void left behind by Destiny 2. There were rumors that Bungie was somehow being put in charge of a Borderlands 1 remake, and there were a bunch of rumors that somehow Gearbox was going to be put in control of the Destiny franchise by Sony, which made zero sense and of course turned out to be completely false. But the precedence is there if Gearbox decides to actually try to fill in that gap. You see a need, fill a need, to quote Rodney Copperbottom here, and it wouldn't be surprising if Gearbox does push forward with this. Of course, if they add things like the class system from Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, they have a chance here to make an Elder Scrolls Online style of sequel, like they did with Skyrim to ESO, where it still feels connected to the previous universe, but obviously is an MMO-light hybrid. But we'll have to see. Let me know what you guys think. Should Borderlands go in the MMO direction, or should they stay with their current style of half solo, more co-op, more contained live service style elements? They're already knocking on the door. I really don't know how much farther they can go without becoming a full-blown Destiny clone.